people that are hurting the most are the people that have stocks, and as opposed to, Gen Z, who doesn't really have a lot of skin in this game.
It's okay, boomers. You're just going to have to cut back on the avocado toast.
I feel like that's millennials more than anything. But
sorry, you're going to have to pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
There you go. There you go.
It's interesting that the administration sounds like they're being very receptive to Japan. There's probably some non-economic reasons for that, too. I mean, Japan is probably the biggest bulwark, along with India, to China. And I think one of the things Trump is trying to do is reorganize the world to make peace with Russia and then contain China. And obviously, Japan's going to be a key to that. I think of Canada, too, because believe it or not, the Canada-U.S. trade relationship is even bigger. I mean, you might not think of it that way, but it is.
Yeah.
And it's also a very free trade agreement. Trouble is, in Canada right now, there's an election campaign on. And so you're not having sober-minded negotiations on the other side. In fact, it's turning into a bit of a contest of which Canadian politician can be, I hate to say it, the most anti-American. And there's a deep strain of anti-Americanism in the Liberal Party to begin with. And this goes back to Pierre Trudeau, who was pretty anti-American. You remember he was hanging out with Fidel Castro and going to the Soviet Union, going to communist China. So I'm worried that right now you've got this new prime minister in Canada. His name is Mark Carney. I call him like Trudeau 2.0, but he's smarter and harder working than Trudeau. And he's practically declaring war on America. It's shocking. I don't think it actually speaks for Canadians, and I don't want Americans to take Mark Carney too literally. I hope this passes, but there's an ugly battle going on right now.
Isn't Carney like a career banker too? Like that's his past?
Absolutely. In fact, he left Canada about a decade ago to go and be the governor of the Bank of England.
Right.
And he's got 3 passports. He hasn't been back in Canada in a decade, and he's sort of come back, and he became prime minister without an election.
Right. I remember seeing a Daily Show interview with him, and he billed himself as the outsider. I looked him up and like, this guy's a banker.
His money, his signature is literally on the money. It's not much of an outsider.
One of the things I find most interesting about Canada's response to everything to do with Trump is like it's instilled this weirdly nationalistic sense in like their celebrities and their politicians, which I didn't notice before. But Canada as a whole has always done a good job of looking out for Canada itself. Like if you look at the Canadian entertainment industry, they have quotas on how much music has to be played on a Canadian radio station that's by a Canadian artist. Same thing with their television. I honestly believe that Trump would love that, and he would actually love to do that in America because he has that same faith, that same love for America that they seem to want to instill in Canadians. So it seems almost hypocritical when they boast themselves as being hyper-nationalistic now in response to Trump, when I think that their general idea is something Trump would actually support just for Americans and not for Canadians.
Well, Chris talked a bit about some of the trade barriers. I mean, you can't get a mortgage in an American bank. You can't get a T-Mobile or you can't get a U.S. cell phone contract, which we need badly because in Canada we pay some of the highest cell phone data rates in the world. We have huge protectionism for certain kinds of agriculture, dairy, poultry, eggs. And you might think, who cares? Well, that doubles or more the price of those things. It hurts poor Canadians the most. My hope is that some of the things that irritate Trump, that he's trying to negotiate away, are things Canada should get rid of anyways. I want more competition in the banking sector. I want more cell phone companies to bring down the rates. And I don't think that we should have double the price for food. If you want to talk about what helps working people, get the cost of food and fuel down. So I'm hoping that one of the takeaways, one of the end games here is that Canada removes and you know what? One thing that Trump talks about a lot, Canada has one of the lowest expenditures on military ranked by our GDP in all of NATO. You know, that balloon, it came over Canada before it went to the States. We didn't take it down. I don't know if we even could. I think Trump is right when we say Canada's been having a free ride. Now, it hurts Canadians to hear that. But Canada should do that for our own reasons. Forget about Trump. Canada should get more grown up about those things.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.